In the NBA, there are a bunch of awards that can be given to a player. Most Valuable Player, Defensive Player of the Year, Sixth Man of the Year, Most Improved Player, and Rookie of the Year. But some fans of the NBA say that this isn't enough, and that various potential awards haven't been added over time. Now, here I come. I'm going to put together a list of NBA awards that I created that make the selection even more fine-grained. We're going to add common missed awards, as well as one specific award a player shall avoid. So, stick around and enjoy the lore. If you're an NFL fan, you certainly know about Jackson Smith-Njigba. Last year, he won the Offensive Player of the Year, but we're not going to dive deep into statistics, since I'm a basketball guy, not a football guy. This is the first award that I'm choosing, and we're going to have to make what defines the Offensive Player of the Year. In our some random world, the OPOY wouldn't take into account team record, reserving that for the MVP race. Criteria for the OPOY would be this: a combination of points scored and points assisted. Who generated the most offense? Second is inevitability, the player who requires double teams to second the beyond half court. And third and last, efficiency and skill. One who maintained high true shooting percentage despite very high usage. As there are 3 parts in the criteria, there will be 3 types of players that fit the OPOY bill. One is a heliocentric player, who is basically the system. He dominates the ball, is nearer at league-leading usage, and generates 50 to 60 points per game via scoring and dishing. They often lose MVP either because their defense is average, or they fall victim to a bad team record. Prototypes of heliocentric players are arguably Doncic, Prime Harden, and Trae Young. While they might deal with turnovers and give up points on defense, hurting the MVP case, they are untouchable offensively. Number 2 is the unguardable scorer. They may not run the point, and players with this type have versatility that can break and demoralize defensive schemes. Examples include Kevin Durant, Carmelo Anthony, and Kobe Bryant. Hypothetically, the MVP can go to a playmaker, leading a pure scorer to be unrecognized. And third, the efficiency god. Efficiency gods might not be league leading in terms of raw points, but their impact metrics are historically high. They warp the geometry of the court. Examples of efficiency gods are Curry and Jokic. Let's say there is a race for the OPOY, just like the MVP. And let's also say, in the power rankings, SGA is number 1 despite not being the scoring leader. The reason? His offensive profile is the inevitable. He very frequently drives to the basket, is very good at stopping on a dime, and his foul baiting has given him lots of opportunities on the free throw line. He leads the league in average field goals made per game, averages 15 FT attempts, and last season he showed inevitable type consistency by scoring 30 or more points in 49 of the 76 games he played in. With the fact that SJ also has a low turnover rate and factoring in his clutch scoring in crunch time, the NBA would likely give the OPOY award to Shea by the end of the season. The second award I'm adding to this list is on the more hilarious side, the complete opposite of the MVP, LVP, Least Valuable Player. But this time, instead of making the criteria, the folks on r/NBA have made their own. Since 2017, they've given out unofficial LVP awards. The r/NBA criteria eliminates caveats like players getting no minutes on the bench, young players under 22, and importantly, salaries. So even if, let's say, player X got a supermax but was only averaging a modest 19 points per game and wasn't that much better in terms of other skills, they would not get LVP. At the LVP offices, on-court performance is focused, so it's time to focus on the history of the unofficial LVP. In his last year in the league, Monte Ellis won the first edition, being an unproductive scorer despite some decent usage. He suffered from poor efficiency, couldn't play the D, and was questionable at the FT line. Xandrick Ellison, the person who created the LVP award, said that he is the one logging meaningful minutes for an actual contender and dragging them down the most. In the 2018 season, 37-year-old Jamal Crawford took the victory. He also suffered from poor efficiency, only averaged a goddamn 1.2 rebounds per game, and his defensive box plus minus was negative 5.58, which in fact was worse in the entire league by 1.11. Crawford was healthy throughout the entire season and played every single game, managing to do more damage than the other players on the list. Ellison said that Crawford's poor play could cause the Timberwolves to miss the playoffs, but thankfully for Minnesota, as we all know, they made it. Solomon Hill won the award in 2019, Isaiah Thomas was an MVP candidate in 2020, Aaron Baines in 2021, Facu Campazzo in 2022, Will Barton in 2023, Jordan Poole Party in 2024, and Terry Rozier in 2025. With the same criteria applied to this season, arguably the guy who's going to win the LVP award is Gary Trent Jr. In 23 minutes of action, GTJ has been averaging 8.3 points, 1.1 rebounds, and 1.5 assists. He has questionable FG efficiency at 38.4%, and his total box plus minus by StatMuse is negative 4.8, which is near 2018 Crawford levels. Award number 3. With the NBA having a 6-man award, that might lead to some 7th-man players to be left out. So, we're finally going to recognize them with the 7MOI. We're going back to using our own criteria, so for this, a player must meet these requirements. They must be the second player off the bench in the rotation, they would almost always be a defensive stopper, rebounding specialist, or 3-point marksman, and there would be a 18 to 24 minute sweet spot, playing enough to have a massive impact, but not so much they would become a 6-man in disguise. A good statistical goal for 7th man would be high blocks plus minus and good blocks or steals per game averages. For who should be the 2026 7th man of the year, we're going for good old Alex Caruso. Even though TJ McConnell has more potent stats, 9.6 points and 4.8 assists in 17 minutes, meeting 7th man criteria, Caruso has top tier advanced impact. His job is to ensure the Thunder's elite defense doesn't have a black hole when the starters sit, and Caruso has been so effective with this. In many of his bench stints, Caruso actually contributes to a gain in the Thunder's defensive rating. Caruso has a box plus minus of 2.6 so far this season, and it has some all-defensive team call-ups to his name. And for the 4th and final award, Iron Man of the Year, named after the famous AC Green, who appeared in an insane 1,192 consecutive games. The previous 3 awards that we added still leave out one underappreciated skill: availability. For the criteria, you must play in every single game. No load management, no injuries, no nothing. And you can't just play only 5 minutes a game, you would have to be on the court for at least more than 32. Finally, there would be the no whining clause for the player who plays with stuff like jammed fingers, travel fatigue, and importantly, back-to-backs. Our favorite for the Iron Man of the Year this season is Mikal Bridges. Bridges has actually recently passed John Stockton for the 9th longest consecutive game streak in history, and he makes appearing in 82 games look like an absolute breeze, unlike usual superstars. He is the type of guy who refuses to go home. He's been playing in over 32 minutes on average ever since the 2020-21 season, with his usage continuing to stabilize, and is also known for playing more than 82 games in the season. He played 83 in 2022-23 after being traded from Phoenix to Brooklyn. Here's the funny thing, Bridges notably attributes his durability to something you wouldn't expect: eating Chipotle every single day. While the rest of the league is on load management, my guy is built out of white rice, double chicken, and willpower, bruh. So, I've now fixed some problems about NBA awards, but I know, not all of them. You're still going to be in a heated debate about who the MVP is, especially because it's clearly the most ambitious award. And I think that's pretty much all to say. Now, let me hear from you guys. Besides those 4 awards, what else would you like to add? It could be something serious, something weird, or something goofy. Anyways, I'm some random Xander. This is it for the video, and remember guys, stay random. Goodbye.